win for the Cowboys today, 36-28 over what still is a really good Carolina Panthers football team. Score probably a little bit closer than maybe the game indicated. I thought the Cowboys were in full control of that game, throughout most of its entirety, especially in the second half. That's a Carolina Panthers defense led by Phil Snow that is really, really talented and really, really good. And it's going to give teams a lot of problems here moving forward very soon. Just looking ahead at their schedule a little bit. And also, I think moving forward, too, this is another, a team, the Panthers team, led by their defense that we will see right in the playoff mix when the time comes towards the end of the season. Enough credit can't be said about Dak Prescott and Kellen Moore for what they're doing. 4 weeks now, 3-1, though they were, they had a chance to win. Offense, gave the team a chance to lead, or the lead with a chance to win late in the fourth quarter against Tampa. 4 different teams, 4 different opponents this year for the Cowboys. We've seen essentially 4 different philosophies offensively from Kellen Moore and company. So I can't say enough about that. But, again, impressive win against a team that is still, that's a very, very good football team. That was a tough test. I thought that we would learn a lot about what this Cowboys team really is, who they are physically. But I think it's fair to say at this point, I think the Cowboys are clearly a top 5 team in the NFL. And I think they're showing that they've got a lot of depth and a lot of talent at a lot of really important positions, and guys that positions that are occupied by guys that are still finding their way, sort of coming of age right before our eyes. A lot of rookies and second-year players on that side of the football that, to me, I think is both, it's kind of, it could be worrisome because we don't know how they're going to handle the full course of an NFL season physically. But it also could be exciting, I think, because it just tells you that as good as this defense has been so far, I think there's still a lot more ceiling to be had, mostly just because of the youth. The 2 best players right now, for one thing, are first and second year players, and Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs. And I think that's another fascinating discussion, talking about, if you just kind of try to single it out for just to talk about it and speculate, who's been more important to this Cowboys defense. And I think it's really tough you could present a case for both guys. But the youth there, and then that all goes without mentioning, we still don't have the leader of the defense, the guy that's been there, through it all, right? Our Pro Bowl defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence, still isn't back yet. And that goes without mentioning other players in the middle too, Neville Gallimore being one of those. But I say all that to say this, and we'll wrap it up. That was an important win. The timing of the victory for the Cowboys was important, and I'll explain why right now. The only thing worse than having to play a division winner schedule from a year ago is having to play a division winner schedule from a year ago when you won the division despite being a really bad team, 7-9. So Washington, looking at their schedule, like I said, they snuck by the Falcons today, who are not a good football team. They got to play the Saints. They're talented. They're still trying to get things going with Jameis Winston. That'll click and it'll take time, but we'll see that improve, maybe. So that's a toss-up. And then they go Chiefs, last year's AFC West division winner. Packers, last year's NFC North division winner. Broncos, a team who, when they're at home at Mile High, have a significant home field advantage. I don't think they're, the 3-0 team that we saw them before they played the Ravens today, but I also don't think they're as bad as the outcome of the Ravens game either, because they played without Teddy Bridgewater for a good span of that game. And then they go and play the Bucs. And that's all before playing the Panthers and Seahawks, who I both think have a really good shot at getting in the playoffs this year. So for Washington, again, we got Saints, and then Chiefs, Packers, Broncos, Bucs. So we got division winner, tough opponent at home, and at Mile High, and then last year's Super Bowl champion. Now, obviously Taylor Heineke, I like the way the dude competes, and I have nothing bad to say about him at all. I just think with a defense that's playing the way that it is right now, I don't think Taylor Heineke is capable of elevating you to, a level of having to put, basically put the game on his shoulders and have him go win it for you. I think he's good enough to be sufficient, especially with the talent and the pool of skill position players that Washington does possess now that they get Curtis Samuel back healthy again, who I was looking forward to seeing today. It seemed like he was on somewhat of a snap count, if you will. But make no mistake, obviously, this Washington team is much different and a lot more potent when Ryan Fitzpatrick is healthy. And we're not sure when that's going to be, as he had that injury. I think it was a hip injury that he sustained in week 1. And there's really no timetable for his return.
Okay, so the Giants, they gotta come and play the big boys first next week. And then they go Rams, Panthers, Chiefs, Raiders. They might lose 5 in a row. That's 5 L's right there, if you ask me. Just on paper, the matchup as it sits today. At Cowboys, home against the Rams, home against the Panthers, at Chiefs, home against the Raiders. And then they play the Bucs. Might be 6 losses in a row right there. So they enter a gauntlet.
And, of course, lastly, but certainly least, we've got the Eagles. And, again, so they play the Panthers next week. At the time of originally recording this, I'm actually re-recording. Secrets out. But they were on schedule playing the Chiefs today, so I was looking at 5 out of their next 6 matchups. They already got waxed again by the Chiefs, and so now we've got, and they sit at 1-3, by the way. Only team they've beaten was the Falcons. So they've got to go play the Panthers, last year's Super Bowl champion Bucs, and then an undefeated at the time of this recording, again, Raiders squad that looks to be world beaters right now. So the Eagles could be looking at 5 straight losses by the time this stretch is all said and done after Cowboys, or I'm sorry, actually dating back even before that. 49ers, Cowboys, Chiefs, Eagles, Panthers, Bucs, and Raiders. So we could be talking about 6 straight for Philly. And, again, I love the skill position players. I love the talent. I love a lot of what they have offensively, especially on their offensive line. Chris and I did a whole, hour and a half long breakdown of the preview for the Cowboys and Eagles matchup. But tons and tons of talent there offensively. I just think with, I think first-year offensive coordinator Shane Steichen, first-year head coach Nick Sirianni, first-year full-time starter Jalen Hurts. When those 3 things combine, it usually doesn't add up to any sort of sustained competence or success early on. So that's not to say that the pieces aren't all in position. We could debate that for another day. But I do like what Philly has. I just think that it is foolish to assume, even again, just it's tough to separate real from fantasy from reality as a fan. But I just think that the aforementioned trio all being in their first year, getting an offense together, fully in sync, fully mastered with all the players and not only healthy, but able and willing to contribute. That's a whole other topic. But I think the pieces are in place there. So to kind of just wrap this all up, man, that's what I wanted to bring to light, talk about a little bit, discuss, and see what the fan base thinks. But big win for the Cowboys today. Really good stretch here, a chance to separate. I think we learned a lot about our team. And I can't wait to go and whoop up on the Giants next week.